Okay, hi, so this is going to be for fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. Go ahead and take what resonates and leave the rest. I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few astrological events, then I'm going to go ahead and get into the reading. But currently, the moon is in Gemini, so you might have been feeling more social, okay, wanting to go out, have conversations. During this time, intellectual conversations can take place, but with the moon being semi-square Chiron, this is a call for sensitivities and having patience when having conversations with people with things that you don't agree with. So just make sure you are being patient with people with your thoughts and your feelings. Mercury is in Aquarius and it's trine Mars. So this is a transit of really being honest with others or honest with yourself, okay? Important conversations could have taken place or are going to take place with people from your past, with people of your family, to really get an honest idea of maybe hurt feelings or emotions from the past or the present, okay? It's also a transit of trying to remain focused, which can be really hard when the moon's in Gemini too. Thoughts all over the place, wanting to do this, wanting to do that, but just focus on one thing and one thing only during this time. Mercury is also conjunct Saturn, so this is a period of planning, okay? Drawing up plans for the future, really picturing what you want your life to be like and fully getting into manifestation mode, okay? Apply yourself to this. It's going to take hard work. It's not something that you can just start and then not continue with. It might take time in order whatever you're planning, okay? It's not going to happen fast. Jupiter is also conjunct Chiron, so this is healing painful memories, addressing baggage, which is a huge thing in church today. Was having baggage that's unaddressed and how it can affect your relationships, platonic or romantic, okay? What are you holding on to that you have not addressed, that you continue to run away from? Because if you just keep doing that, it's only going to get worse as you get older, okay? Yes, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my music for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. Love, hate letter to alcohol, okay? Alcohol could be a thing that's been unaddressed. How do you use alcohol? Are you using it in a way to cope? Okay, do you use it for confident? What you know is so crazy, as I was just talking about this, is before I go to social events, I always like to drink a little bit because it gets me into more like a relaxed and like more confident mood to have to be around people, because I really don't enjoy being around random people. I really don't. So this could be something that needs to be addressed. Love, hate letter to alcohol. What is your relationship to alcohol? And are you using it to numb or to not address past baggage, whether that's past childhood wounds, past relationship wounds? What is it that you are running away from, trying to numb, and abusing? Oh, shit. I've actually never really looked at the lyrics to this song. I woke up on the ground. I guess I kept that shit to myself. Turns out I'm pretty good at running my mouth, but not good enough. With the moon being in Gemini too, you could just be talking about shit that you shouldn't be talking about. This could be you or the person that you're dealing with, people around you, things that you see. Why'd you have to go and ruin my day? Giving people power to ruin your day. Truth. Yeah. Being honest with yourself. As I was talking about Mercury and Aquarius trining Mars, sometimes being honest with yourself is the hardest. Like if you continue to lie to yourself about certain things that you do in order to cope with things, in order to have fun, in order to go out and meet new people, you need to drink, which I'm calling myself out because I do it all the time. What do you do? New beginnings. Intuition in the reverse, base chakra in the reverse, and the waiting game, which I was talking about a little bit with Mercury being conjunct Saturn. Planning, drawing up plans. It's going to be something that takes a longer time than what you think to get to where you want to go. And sometimes if someone doesn't get those fast results, they think that they can't do something or something's not coming. And another thing about having faith, okay? Faith, if you don't have it, you can't understand it. If you're not having faith and you can't see something with your own eyes that something is going to work out or is in the works of working out, that's the cool thing about God. You won't know because you have to have faith and you have to trust. But first, something needs to be addressed. What needs to be addressed for these new beginnings to occur? If alcohol has anything to do with it, when you're drinking, you are furthest from God, your spiritual team, than ever. You will not trust your intuition. You won't have a good intuition, and you'll do things that you regret. Base chakra being in the reverse. It seems like something triggered someone, they went unhinged, and they had a pause in their spiritual healing, if that makes sense. Obstacles and challenges in the reverse, and conflict and defeat in reverse. Yeah. And Spirit's saying the sooner something is addressed, we have 11:11 on the clock, okay? Insane. Could be something here about an Aries placement. What you want to rush for? You trying to meet your maker? Are you running out of time? I think I'm insane. Why you want to play so bad? Deception and envy. If it has to do with alcohol or drugs where you're not addressing something, or you are victimizing other people for past issues here, you're your furthest from your higher self and your spiritual self here. It's like there's one thing, like you believe God can move wonders from you, for you in places, but the second it has to do with maybe a past issue or like a healing issue within your childhood or your trauma, you think it's something that can't be fixed. So therefore you don't work on it. Okay? You allow it to defeat you for whatever reason. It's like you're aware that it's there, so you're semi-addressing it, but you're not really doing anything to fix or to heal what might be broken inside of you that sometimes you think is not broken, if that makes sense. And it can affect your relationships, romantic or platonic. I think I'm going insane. Pain goes away when you're with me, okay? I'm kind of getting a trauma bond here. This could be past, present, or future, where you meet these people who are just like you. And so you might think you bond in certain scenarios, but it's really just trauma. And I don't really think that's necessarily calls for a healthy relationship. And I think of it where it's like if you are in a relationship with someone who is exactly like you, there's no mediator. There's no mediator to say, well, you're doing X, Y, and Z, because if you wouldn't do it, why would you expect them to if you are the same exact type of human with trauma, with pain? It just doesn't make sense. God help me, God bless me. I think I'm insane. Anything else here? Red wine, alcohol. Someone needs to stop drinking. I call out myself as well. Drinking, every time I drink alcohol, the next day I get really bad anxiety. Like, it's fun in the moment. You could even be drinking now, like socially how you used to, and still get anxiety. Like, drinking it just needs to be cut from someone's intake. Completely cut from someone's intake. Anything else? Enemy. You know how I was just saying how when you're in alcohol, you're furthest from God, your spiritual team, yourself? It gives the enemy access to you in ways that you can't block off if you're sober, if that makes sense. The enemy will look for any way to attack or destroy you, and when you drink, that's the easiest way for them to get in, okay? It's the easiest way for you to stay in toxic or traumatic experiences. People who give you those experiences. Love yourself before you can love anyone else. I feel like when someone gets like this, when they drink alcohol, they get really emotional, where they think no one will ever love them. They start to feel really bad about themselves, and they say and do things that you wouldn't do sober. It's like you wake up the next day and you're like, holy shit, why the fuck would I even do that? Why would I say that? Why would I do that? It could be the root of your failed relationships, okay? Right now. Could be something here about an Aries placement. Akon is an Aries. They want to make up with you right now because whatever they did, they were under the influence by Chris Brown. That can also be a reason why someone feels attached or stuck to someone is because of sexual fantasies and desires. Sex is not love. Stay again. Let go of my claim on you. Religious factors keeping separation. Down on my knees, ripped apart. After we collided. Great time for manifestation, which I was talking about earlier with the transits. Weed tolerance break. Get well soon. And Gemini rising. Yeah, I was literally talking about alcohol. This could even be weed. It's like someone stays numb. They stay numb. And so they go on in their life with this unaddressed baggage just because they're always finding things to cope. And so Spirit's calling for someone to stop. When Saturn moves into Pisces, I feel like this is really going to test people of their addiction or what they cope with, whatever it may be. If it's weed, if it's alcohol, if it's drugs of whatever sort, you have to let it go. I feel like someone's access to these things will be cut off, okay? Or they'll just start to, how I was talking about where I get anxiety when I drink, I can't use it to cope anymore because it just makes me, even when I'm by myself, it makes me extremely sad and anxious. It never used to do that to me, but now it does. You might start to feel this when Saturn moves into Pisces, or now you're kind of getting like a pre-shadow effect of what it's going to feel like that your coping mechanisms are not going to work anymore, okay? I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more of these. I was going to say something about the After We Collided and Down on My Knees Ripped Apart. And I have a feeling like you have this effect on someone that they never really... addicted to my ex. You have this effect on someone where you're able to like pierce their heart, or like before they didn't care about anything and then they met you and you have such a hold over their emotions and how they view themselves just because of this one person. And they're just, everything that they might have been able to do to cope, to get past it, to not think about you, it's just like they can't do it anymore. Wish you the best. And I feel like someone might have been fed up with this, where they might have just left a situation because it was never getting better. Always thought you'd come back in misery without you. Nobody did it like us. They're getting all of these thoughts and memories of maybe things that they might have destroyed off of alcohol and drugs. Coming to like this ascending level of realization, okay, blindsided. And this process is not easy, and it's incredibly painful. Once you get off like weed or alcohol or these things that numb, and you're like, I'm hearing the song by Taylor Swift, I was in the dark night of the soul, and now all I can see is light, and you're seeing all these things around you, and you're like, well, shit, I wasn't listening to my intuition. I was ungrounded, and I was doing all these things, but I wasn't listening because of the pride that I had in my heartstrings. Pushed me to the edge. And I feel like if there's no realization, you could have pushed this person so far to their limits that they had to just walk out of they didn't want the obstacles or the challenges or the pain like afflicted onto them just because of the unaddressed baggage that this person refuses to deal with. You have the tools, use them. And during this time, someone's going to be really challenged to deal with this, to deal with where it's coming from. And this was a huge thing in church today. It was the whole the whole lesson was figuring out what it is, when it comes out, and how to deal with it. And it ties directly to family factors. What your parents do, you start to act like them. I don't know if there's ever been a time where you'll be saying something or doing something and you'll have like deja vu, and this is exactly what my mom does or my dad says or whatever, and you're just like, you just get disgusted with yourself. That's the first, like, the next time if it happens to you, why do you do that? Where does it come from? And how to fix it. Instead of just consistently saying, well, that's just the way I am, how to fix it. Or how to deal with it. Leo and Scorpio relations. This could be the person that you're dealing with, or this could be why something fell apart, okay, between a Leo and a Scorpio, friendship or relationship. I'm going to do one more of these and then I'm going to be done. They hate what you do. I think someone is envious of someone's open-mindedness to their trauma, awareness of it, and how to fix it. Someone else doesn't really know how to do that. You were everything that I wanted. And it just destroys their confidence. It destroyed or continues to destroy their confidence because they don't know how to do that. They're learning and they will learn. Never needed anything from you. And it can also be someone who really hates help. They hate help. They hate asking for help, and they do everything by themselves. Overly independent, which it's a symptom of trauma because no one was ever there when you needed them the most. So when you have someone who is there when you need them and they go over the top, you're like, this is disgusting to me. This makes me feel gross and weak inside. And so they left. Perfect time. Pill user. Yeah, this is someone who really numbs everything in their life. Nobody got me like you did. Tech issues, okay? You could be having some computer issues. I know a couple days ago, someone tried to hack me again on Instagram, like sending me messages to try to help them get into their accounts. Just be extremely aware of people trying to access your energy, because you might be very fragile and sensitive right now, which I was talking about with the moon being semi-square Chiron. You're very, very sensitive to certain energies, okay? Be aware of the people around you. Be aware of your own triggers. And allow people in. Stop trying to run away from everyone, because I look down, it's 555. You're going through these changes and you're starting to awaken. But you can't run away from everyone who wants to help you. Or not address the type of triggers they make you feel, not talking about it, and just immediately running away from the situation. Karma. Karma is a god. This could be a long time coming, but I feel some type of karma, good or bad, is coming for someone. Okay, and that's the truth. Saturn is here. Saturn is present. Which that could be Aquarius placements. That could be Capricorn placement that you may be dealing with. Okay, or you might have been hurt. Which there was this quote in church today. We were in Jeremiah. And it was like, for all who destroyed you will be destroyed. Whoever might have destroyed you is currently being destroyed in maybe ways that you wouldn't think, or it's not like visible. But they're being destroyed, maybe seeing you happy with someone else, maybe just seeing you get the things you want. That could be karma for them, because they so desperately wanted it not to be you, if that makes sense. Could be something here about a Sagittarius placement. Taylor Swift's a Sagittarius. This energy is gaining momentum, and a new start is coming. Yeah, I feel like the people stepping into new beginnings is someone else is stepping into a new beginning of not being able to run away from things that they so easily were able to run away from in the past. Don't let pride get in your way, Leo. A personal issue reaches resolution, Cancer, and surrender to the divine. Yeah, running away, not lying to yourself, lying to other people. I feel like that time is over, okay? You could be dealing with a Leo, a Cancer, a Scorpio, Aquarius, or a Capricorn, okay? And believe in the impossible, because good things are coming. But for some people, there's something that needs to be addressed. So what is it? What is it? Okay?